Hello, guys. Today we are at Dancing Vinyl, and as you have seen and might have recognized him already, Tommaso Pizzelli is today with us. Welcome. Um, so before we start with like more deeper questions about your music, about how you started everything, imagine I'm just like a space blob, extraterrestrial. I've just landed on Earth. I'm basically ET. You're the first person I meet. Introduce me to your personal world, to your music world. Who is Tommaso Pizzelli?
Well, then first, welcome. What can I say? My kind of like musical style, it really like it's represented a lot by funk and groove. So sometimes can be more like deep, or sometimes can be a bit more like for the dance floors. But there's always need to be like that groove that hook you up in a way, and I really like to set like some vibes also. So just to hook you up in the loop. And also like clubbing wise, I would prefer something more a bit more like intimate in a way, in a way. So not like the big stages and stuff, but it's more like where you can really be entertained by the music and go into it. So that's more or less, I don't know.
And how did you start out in music? How did everything begin for you?
Okay, yeah. So basically, like since I was really young, like I always had music playing in my house and stuff. So that's already like gives me a lot of inputs. But then more or less at the age of 15 or something, I step in the first club, and that was like the mind blowing thing. Before I was a lot more like hip hop and still old school, but a lot more hip hop, more like US hip hop, and a bit of also Italian. But yeah, as that age, 15, 16, I started with electronic music, and that was really like mind blowing for me. And since then, I really didn't stop with the electronic music. So that's now the main core, of my stuff.
And you're not just a producer, you're also a DJ, and you DJed in various different countries. Can you tell us a bit how the different places that you played or DJed have had different impacts on you, or maybe how they are different, like the audiences where you played at? Because you played in Spain, you played in Italy. How are the audiences different?
Yeah. So yeah, like the audience really represents the country culture in a way. So for example, like in Italy and in Spain are a lot more like um how can I say, like they really like to be seen and to be, like hands up, or a bit more like screaming and stuff. But for example, I've been also in Switzerland, in Zurich at the Fridas Buchse, and that is a bit different. Like they are still like involved, but they're not so much like showcasing their own, fun and everything. So that's more how I see it. Also, like for example, in Holland, in the Netherlands, is also like more or less the same. Like they're really into more the music and the club than showing themselves. So that's what I see. Then of course, like everybody see different stuff, but still, like that's more or less what I felt.
What's the craziest thing you've experienced while DJing in a club or wherever?
um, I mean, that could be, yeah, when people really get into you and into what you are expressing with your DJ set and stuff, and they start to be like super friendly and start to giving you stuff, and that's like kind of the craziest in a way, because at the end we all know that after the night ends, we all continues and stuff. I mean, that's something a bit like a cliche, but those kind of things really makes also like my heart full, because they really like they really fall into your music and what you're giving them. That's they basically just give it back with their own soul. So that's what I really think it's more like the craziest thing, because I really feel it, you know. That's one thing.
Let's talk a bit about your productions. What artists inspired you to make house music, and what current like influences are,
Yeah.
artists that you look up to?
Yeah. So one artist that really like that I followed since the beginning is Enzo Siragusa. Cause really like since the old days, like he really installed like a genre, a culture, and his own ideas and vision, you know, for this. And that's really something that I always admired. And also now I sometimes I always go back to his own like productions or Fuse related, because it's his own label and party series. And I go back also to listen to it to get inspired again, you know. So that's something that is really like always in my mind. But for example, now I'm a lot into Japanese artists. For example, right now there's one label that I'm really like splitting up and trying to, you know, craft their own thing for myself, is Cabaret Recordings from DJ Mazda and So Inagawa, if it's the correct way to say it. That's also like super inspiring for me at the moment, because it really like it's in my point of productions that it really like matches. So that's super inspiring for me as well at the moment. I have some bombs as well in the USB and records, you know, that I bring with me now always. So yeah, these two more or less are the main ones that I'm inspired about at the moment, you know.
And you produce full time at the moment? Are you just doing music, or are you also working like part time?
Yes, at the moment I'm working in a record store. It's called Discos Marcianos, just as a part time. So yeah, that's one thing. And of course I'm making a lot of music, and also doing some post production work, like mixing, mastering, and stuff like that. But like for me it's more like in like periods where I'm more productive in one thing and one in another. Like for example, now is about like a month or so that I'm not producing a lot, but I'm digging a lot more than before. So for me, it's more like being like in a period where you are more inspired to do something or other stuff, you know. So it really depends, but I'm always in the loop at the end.
Can you tell us a bit about your creative process when starting a track, and specifically like your own music?
Yeah, like let's say I like to start with a bit more of an idea that is already there. So maybe I get inspired by a set or a track or something. That in that moment I listen to it and I'm like, oh shit, I would really love to have something like this, but my own. So maybe I just sample some beats and stuff, and I try to make my own. Maybe I use like the groove they have, but I make my own. So at the end, they kind of like it kind of follows, you know, the same groove. So that's like how I start, and then it really depends, like in the day I had and stuff. And but as I said before, I always try to make a kind of vibe, even if with like if it's a bit more like with pads or something or without. But I always try to have like a vibe in my mind and to follow it. Maybe like I think of myself in a moment in a night where I would love to play that song, and so I try to recreate that vibe. So that's one thing that really that I really follow on my workflow as well, you know. So yeah, more or less that's it. Then like I'm a bit more like a sample based guy producer. So I'm not like I don't have like synthesizers and stuff, you know, but I'm more like a sample guy, and so yeah, that's more or less how I work.
And part of an artist's journey is basically innovation. How do you blend influences from different sounds and experimenting with different sounds while maintaining your, let's say, your signature, like so that people recognize, okay, this is Tommaso Pizzelli, but it's a new track of him, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, as I said, like I try to keep like kind of the same groove in the tracks, so that, for example, if they all got being played together, like in a mix, is like a kind of an infinite loop. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of the same groove, but with different elements bouncing off each other. Um, so yeah, like for example, like I have my own samples that I use. So that of course like already have my own sound. And if I wanna like sample and use some other stuff, then it get like fused together with my stuff, and so of course like it gets a bit more like the Tommaso Pizzelli vibe or production. So yeah, that's mostly the way in like for me that works, you know. So I like have my own samples, really like kind of have the same sound, the same sample. I mean, not of course exactly the same 100%, but still exactly the same essence in a way, you know. So yeah.
What do you enjoy most about writing your own music? What part of the process?
I think is really entering the loop and not going out of it, you know, instead of just throwing down some ideas and trying to arranging them and to get to the next level already. It's more like to be lost in the loop and continue to listen to it for hours and hours, you know, that's like, and to craft it every detail as I can, you know. That's what I enjoy the most, I have to say.
Let's talk a bit about your releases that you've done so far and just in general, like how to approach labels. Um, I need to use this because you released on a lot of labels. So just to mention a few, you've had releases on Pitch Records, Selecta, Surge Recordings, Ultra Nights, Conceptual, Swerve Digital, and Symbiotical Records. I mean, these are all labels that have high prestige in the underground scene. In your opinion, what are nowadays the biggest challenges for artists to approach labels in pitching their songs?
I think is more to live the moment and don't overthink stuff. I have to say, like, cause, but I mean, it happens also to me. I'm not saying like this as like a, like I have the like that. I know, like, I mean, it's something that everybody has like a bit of doubts and stuff, you know. Of course, because you think, oh shit, that is a big label, and if I send and if they don't reply, or where can I find the contact or something, just don't overthink. I mean, because if you feel that your stuff can be good for that label, then just send it. If not, you can send it to another one. You know, just lose a bit the like, you know, to be scared, you know, of these, and just do it, because at the end, who's stopping you, you know. That's I think that's it, you know. Like, of course it's good that you really like match the vibe of the label, of course, but if you feel it, I mean, why don't do it, you know. It's to me it's more like a personal thing more than a musical related thing, you know.
And can you share a bit, because you also had experiences working in a label, can you share a bit what the most important elements are for A&Rs that listen to tracks, you know, so that they're interested in those tracks that they get submitted?
Okay, so of course, like the first contact with the artist is super important. Like, if you already don't have like a good feeling with the artist itself, it can be like reflected also on what you think of his music. So of course, like if you already have like a good contact and a good relationship with the artist, it's better in my opinion. But then of course, like the music needs to have something. I don't want to say like something that nobody already listened to, but like some characteristics, stuff, or elements that really kind of represent your style, but that is, yeah, that is something that is not following the trend, you know, because everybody is good to do it, you know, just to take something that already works and to put it there. But just think that sometimes releases takes half year or a year, digitally speaking, because with records is even more sometimes. So just think that if now that is the trend, maybe in 6 months or in 1 year is not anymore. So just think of doing stuff that you really like and that you really feel it, and it is something that it's your own. Then it's gonna speak by itself, by itself. That's what I think.
What's the best way of networking with people from labels like A&Rs? Have you used any specific strategies in the past?
Of course, like for example, yeah, one strategy that I use that I still use is instead of sending demos for the label, maybe find the artist behind it and send first promos.
Okay.
So it's like a different way to see also and to listen the music, because demos, if you receive like a demo, then you really want to have something that you're a lot more picky to it, and you're like, oh shit, like this stuff, it miss a bit of this and that. But if someone else send you promos for free to you to play it out because he thinks that maybe can be good for your mixes and stuff, you have another vision to it, and if this works, maybe you play it works, you're like, oh, I want it for my label. So it's like a different way. It's the same thing, you're just sending music to the same guy, but in a different way. So that's a strategy that for me worked. And of course, to get contact and stuff, you need to be in the club. Like, you need to be in the club. If there is like a crew, a collective that you really like, just follow them, go to their parties. At the third, fourth, fifth time, you're gonna get to know them, and then you start, and then everything starts. That's you need to be in the field. Like, you need to work it out.
How much do you think should be the balance between networking and actually writing music? Like, if you say it in like a percentage, and how has that changed for you over time? So, for example, when you started out compared to now.
So, like, I still have to work it out a lot because I'm not that kind of guy. But for me, like, right now, like, the thing with this is more like the product. So the music is like 20-30%, and the rest is promotion. So it can be networking but if you have like the best content, the best product, but you don't promote it, then it's like having nothing. So in a way, for me, it's more like 20% product, 80% promotion, and it's something that I hate. That's why I said I have to work it out, because I'm not like really that kind of guy that stay on Instagram and that send promos through emails and stuff. I mean, if I can, I do it, but I should do it more like with the system, with like a bit more busy with it. But so yeah, I have to say this, like, product, so the music 20%, and promotion, networking, and call it whatever, 80%.
And you also mentioned Instagram and, part of social media. Just how important do you think that social media is nowadays for artists that are trying to break through?
Yeah, it's really important because everybody watches Instagram, and everybody found new music as well through Instagram. And like right now, everything like blows off only with a video of a DJ playing out your tune, or you making like a great vibe in a party. So I hate to say it, but it's pretty important. So yeah, the social media are important at the moment. That's the platform you have to be heard and seen, so
And for the underground scene, obviously, there's always this little bit of a clash between social media and authenticity of like the underground DJ. Um, how do you think one can keep the authenticity? So, you make your own music, it's like the underground music, but you still have to promote it. How do you keep that balance so that people don't see you more of like the influencer that is the DJ instead of the DJ producer that has to promote his music?
Yeah, it's a hard question for me because, as I said, like, I'm not that good, with social medias. But yeah, I mean, if you post something or if you share something, just just share it from your soul, from your heart, you know, like without overthinking it too much and without, yeah, like without faking stuff, you know, because that's just it's like when your mom, when your child tells you like, no, don't say lie because otherwise you're gonna see what is gonna happen. That's almost the same thing, you know, like to my idea.
And let's talk a bit about your alias Feline Mob. Can you tell us a bit how that project started, why it started, and what sort of like how it's different from your Tommaso Pizzelli project?
Yes, so basically, like, it started more or less like 1 year ago. Like, and what happened? Like, I was making like a lot of tunes that got a bit of a different style and vibe than what I was making, and a bit of a different sound. And I was like, I mean, that it was like a pile of tunes, like 10 tunes or something, and I was like, man, like all these tunes really like flow together, but I really don't see them somewhere else at the moment. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just don't wait for other people to reply. Let's just don't wait. Nobody. I just release it by myself, and you know, and fuck it, because at the end I just wanted that music to be heard, to be outside, and to keep like kind of the same style. So that's just like another output of my music in a way, you know. And yeah, I just try to keep it like independent and yeah, kind of underground. I don't like to do like super big promotions and stuff, like some premieres maybe, yeah, that's good, but like I just wanted to keep it a bit more like mysterious in a way, you know, and to keep it like, let's say, underground again. But yeah, that's more or less the idea, you know, just to have your own other outputs without having intermediate, you say,
Yep.
without having other people in between, because then the stuff can change, you have to wait a lot, and this you just regulate yourself, you just plan whatever you like. If you want to wait 1 month more, you wait. If not, you release it earlier, you know. So it's that's was like that was just it at the end, you know.
Do you have any workflow strategies, or like what's your workflow like? And do you happen to get writer's block, or like that you're too focused on something that you lose the perspective?
Yeah, like as I said, like as we were as we were saying before, like I really like to start my productions with something I already have in my mind, and maybe like just plan myself like in a moment in the club, or a certain hour, and then to start with everything. Like, of course, I have already like a template where I start, because otherwise, if I have to do every time the same things over and over and over, you always waste a lot of time, and this waste of time also arrive in, like, it also like convert in the writer's block for my personal experience, because you lose energy on thinking of something else that you could already have ready, instead of thinking or flowing with the creativity you have at the moment. But also, like, as I said, like for me it's more like like periods in time where I'm more productive in a way, and some other periods where I have to do other stuff. For example, like now is like a month or more that I don't produce stuff. Like, actually, just before coming here I produced like a couple of tracks, but because that day I was super inspired, I was like, shit, I have to throw it out, you know. So yeah, that's more or less for me, you know. Like, I just try to start with a kind of main idea in my mind, and to craft it, and to continue to keep building on top of it, and to say, okay, until now that's good, let's move to the next step.
Can you give us some advice for aspiring producers and DJs, be that for productions, for gigging, or maybe even if they want to start their own labels or alias as well?
Just follow what you like, just follow your passion, don't overthink stuff, Because I mean, it's good to have like every detail as you like, but sometimes you need to get loose to get other stuff back, you know. Just yeah, like for example, for me, there are like two kind of directions where you can go. Is more like one is at the beginning, like quantity over quality, so that your name gets seen and is already in the scene. And the other direction is the opposite, like quality over quantity. But at the same time, like you can put out like very, very, very good stuff, but if your name is not already there, then maybe can be difficult or hard, you know, to be seen, or that your EP or something go to the right DJs, you know. So those are more or less the directions that someone can take, you know. But for me, it's just like just follow what you really like and what you really feel, because that's at the end what makes you feel better, and that you don't lose time on it, you know.
Thank you very, very much for your advice. And we talked about Tommaso Pizzelli, the artist. Now we want to know a bit more about Tommaso Pizzelli, the guy, the dude. Can you tell us a song that you listen to that, you know, would be a song that you consider a guilty pleasure? Like, for example, I don't know, like you're a DJ producer, so you're supposed to know about all the underground music, all that. But what is a song that people would say, I did not think that you would listen to that and actually love it so much? So for me, for example, it's like Wannabe by the Spice Girls.
Okay, okay. Then there is one that really stay like in my childhood. It's from Alan Sorrenti. Maybe you know him, and it's called Paradiso Beach, because he actually made this song for a camping village where I used to go my whole child, like for 15 years straight, you know. And this song, like, really, I can listen to it like over and over, and I cannot get, you know, bored by it, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him as well, especially from Fidele Stelle. Yeah. What's something that keeps you up at night? Anything, like from music, from, you know, bad food?
um, well, digging music. If I'm already like in the loop of digging good music and going to the unknown that I like, then I keep doing it. Otherwise, the jet lag maybe from the parties.
Yeah, that I think we all understand. What's something or someone that makes you immediately happy when you think about it or them?
Oof. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, of course, like people close by me, of course, like always like if I spend time with them, like it's always like good for me. It always make me happy. Um, but yeah, like it's a bit a tricky question, because like me personally, I try to live like a lot like in a moment, so I really don't expect stuff to happen. I just try to live with them. So I don't know. I mean, I try to just get what it is, you know, and yeah, if I feel happy, like perfect. If I don't feel happy, like perfect anyway, you know, like so I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. Just having good time with the people you love. That's really what makes me happy, I have to say.
What can we expect next from you in terms of projects, music?
There's a new label we are launching soon with my Amsterdam crew. That's now we all split up. Basically, now I'm in Valencia. Other guys are in Amsterdam. Other guys in Berlin. Others in Ibiza. So we are a bit split up, but we still have this project that is called the Sweaty Heads. It's a bit more like a dance floor electro kind of direction of the music. and it's gonna be like to sweat your head, on the dance floor. In a way, that's why the name. That should happen really soon. Um, and yeah, like this year, I think I'm gonna be pretty much around Europe, trying to have a lot of dates and a lot of gigs. So there's already some plan to be confirmed, but there are some good stuff, and some other projects also with my with the collective I'm working with now in Valencia with the Cheat Mill. We always do like pretty good parties, and we are growing up pretty good also in the Valencian scene. So yeah, we have some projects going on. I just don't want to say it at the moment because you need to follow it a bit more.
And what's your next gig?
Yes, my next gig is gonna be in 2 weeks' time, the 16th of March, with it's gonna be in Tilburg, in the south of the Netherlands, with Metro. They are some friends of mine that I work with, and they are bringing up like they're opening up the scene also in the south of the Netherlands, because everything is mostly like based. Talking a bit like the genre they are following, they're pursuing is more like the dungeon meat, slap funk, and all that thing, and it's all present in the north of the Holland, so Amsterdam, Utrecht, and those kind of cities. So they're opening up a lot the scene also in Tilburg, and that's a really good thing. I got to know the founder, Max, was already, I think, like 4 or 5 years ago in Amsterdam, and we really have like this connection, like that we really like feel each other in a way, what we are saying, our values and our culture and everything. So we just keep the contact and stuff. And last time I invite them in Valencia in November. Now they invite me back for their opening party 2024 in Tilburg. So I'm pretty excited for it, I have to say.
And we are as well. Guys, make sure to catch him on the 16th of March. You heard it. Tommaso, thank you very much for taking your time for this interview here at Dancing Vinyl. That's all from our side here at Dancing Vinyl, and we see you soon. Bye
See you.
bye.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Dylan.